Okay, right. So I guess I'm not going to be able to play XCOM until I get the obvious out of the way. Everyone's going to be wanting to know, you know, my opinion a day later regarding the Steam Workshop thing. And there are two parts to this. So I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to do it live, and I may even upload this bit to the main channel afterwards, because some of the things I've got to say are, I think, a little important, perhaps even controversial, and may even lose me a few followers. But I'm afraid I feel obliged to say a few things regarding this situation. First of all, before I discuss the two things, let me just say straight off, I am not a big fan of the new system. I personally wish it hadn't happened. Oh, hello, sir of meat. So, I am not... Yeah, people keep saying paid mods are down, and yet I just did a search for them right now and found loads. I think there was just some issues there. I don't think they've gone down, although, God, I sort of almost hope so. I hope so. I really do. Although, the downside of that is it'll be because of the vitriol and hatred that was thrown at them, and for that I'm horribly disappointed and disgusted. So anyway, let me just say in advance, I don't like this new system, right? I don't like it at all. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of monetizing all mods at all. I really am not. I mean, it's partly because it's change. It changes the dynamic. I'm not happy with the change in the dynamic. I happen to be one of those people who enjoyed the amateur nature of our community. But having said that, my personal preferences and likes are absolutely inconsequential. They really are. What I like and what I want is irrelevant to this situation. So, you know, I don't like it because of that. I also happen to think it's a very, very bad system for several reasons, and you know, I will elaborate a little. So, I'm starting with that. I'm starting so you understand. I don't like this system, and if it disappears tomorrow, I will be very, very happy. If I make any defenses of this system, hello, yoy shushay. If I make any defenses of this system or this process, it is not because I want the process to stay. It is because I'm trying my best to be analytical rather than reactionary. So, having said that, you know, that I don't like this system. One of the things I want to deal with, the first of two things I want to deal with, has been the community's response to the mod makers. Not to Valve, because although I think the community's response to Valve has been a little childish, really has, I think the community's response to mod authors has been nothing short of utterly disgusting. And I'm choosing my words very, very carefully and deliberately. Utterly disgusting. I have been absolutely horrified by some of the comments that have appeared on things like Wet and Cold. Oh, this item is no longer for sale. I wonder if he's removed his... Oh, is this what people mean when they said that it's been removed? Oh, okay. So, yeah, perhaps it has been removed. However, that doesn't change the fact that I am not happy with the way these mod authors have been treated. I mean, this is one of those cases where I happen to think the system is flawed, the system is bad. I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's some evil capitalist ploy by Gabe to milk, you know, everyone dry of their last cent. I just think it's a business being a business. I just think they've gone around that business badly. But within that system, the mod authors who put their mods up for sale are absolutely blameless, and the people who are giving them grief as if they have committed some cardinal sin need to stop. I appreciate you don't like the fact that things have changed, that all of a sudden we've got mods to pay for. I don't like it either. I do not like it. Right? I do not like it. my likes are immaterial. I don't get to call people who are trying to make a living some of the vitriolic, hateful things people have called. This is getting kind of distracting. I mean, thank you for resubbing and everything. So, the reason I say this is I think people tend to forget that these mod makers are people. Okay. Does anybody mind if I briefly turn that off? Just briefly. This is a serious subject. So I'm going to briefly turn that off. Sorry. The only problem is, of course, is it's still happening for me. I've turned it off for the... Okay, I've really completely turned it off now. Right. What was I saying? Yeah, people are forgetting that these mod makers are people. They're not some sort of evil creatures who have gleefully clapped their hands and cackled and said, "Mwahaha, I will be rich. I will be a millionaire off the pain and suffering of you poor mod users." They're not. They're just people. I mean, I'm gonna give you an example. I want to talk about Chesco. And the reason I'm going to talk about Chesco is Chesco has been pretty damned open about this situation, and he has now decided to pull his mods off of Steam because of the response he's got, and possibly the Nexus. Now, I know some people out there are going, good, people like that, we don't want people around. And if you are such a person, if you are currently the sort of person who threw hatred and vitriol at Chesco and now think we're better off because he's not around, I have a question for you. What have you done for this modding community? I'm going to let that question sink in for a second. You see, I'm not one of these people who thinks everyone in the modding community owes the mod authors, you know, anything special. I think everybody in our modding community is potentially a contributor. I mean, mod authors, mod makers, they make mods. Obviously, that's a pretty big contribution. But everyone, all of you guys who use mods, you contribute every time you write a nice comment, every time you put a thumbs up and do an endorsement, every time you tell a friend and spread the word about a mod, you are contributing to the community. You are spreading positivity. But if you're the sort of person who was calling Chesco evil and vitriolic and hoping for hateful crap on him, you were not somebody who has been spreading positivity. You are not somebody who has added anything to the community whatsoever. So unless you have contributed some mods, I've got to be asking, what have you done for the community? Because when you're saying we're better off without Chesco, I'm gonna draw your attention to Chesco. Chesco made one of the best mods I have ever used, Frostfall. He's made a few others, he's made some follower mods, but Frostfall is the one that stands out for me. He has literally spent thousands of hours making mods for us to use. For free, totally for free, right? And he's not just made great mods, he's supported them superbly. I mean, he has been the absolute poster boy for how to be the perfect mod maker. His mods are polished. They're superbly well documented. He has a guide. He has a guide, multiple page guide with pictures and stuff. You know, read the manual. I never do, but there you go. Right? He has been a pillar of our society. And he'd left the modding community. He'd left. He had to go off and try and get a career. He wanted a career in game development, okay? And I want you to imagine this guy who spent thousands of hours making stuff for the community, the top quality stuff. He wakes up and gets an email from Valve and Bethesda. Now, I want you to picture that. And he wasn't alone, I can tell you now. I believe there are several other developers, several other mod makers who got this email. I'm suspecting Isoku, the wet and cold guy, got the same mail. From Bethesda, for God's sake. Valve and Bethesda saying, we love your mod. This is literally like, this is like, imagine your biggest idol, right, for your football team, turning up on your door, knocking and saying, hey, I liked the way you played or whatever. Just Bethesda come along and say, we love your mod. We would like you to come back to modding, because he was away from modding. He'd done with modding. He was done. It wasn't like he was making another version of Frostfall for everybody for free and then just changed his mind at the last minute to make a quick buck. They convinced him to come back. They said, can you come back and make a new version of your mod, a better version of your mod, because we're implementing a new system where people can actually make a career making mods. And for someone like Chesco who loves making mods, the appeal of being able to do this for a living. I mean, imagine if he could just keep making mods day in, day out and live off it. He'd be so happy, right? And yes, at some degree, he said he recognised some people would be unhappy with this. But this is one of these opportunities that just comes along. And he said yes. And so he spent ages making a new version of several of his mods to release. All right? That's the guy people are pouring hate on, as if he's the most evil person ever. He's been contacted by Bethesda and who've said, please come and make a new version of the mod for us. We've got this new system. We're going to pioneer it. We're going to take modding to the next level. Should he have been a little more suspicious of their ability to do so? Yes, because Steam, the Steam Workshop is terrible. It is literally a case study in how not to run a modding system, in my opinion. It was worse when it was first released, and it's still bad years later. I mean, they still have not got rid of auto-update. It's like they've never spoken to anybody in the modding community. They're completely clueless, in my opinion. Valve do not have their act together when it comes to modding Bethesda games. So should Chesco have been, you know what, you guys are... I don't know, maybe he should. But you know, they probably talk a good talk. So he agrees to it. He releases his mod, bit nervously. And sure, people hate the system. So if people hate the system, you know what you do? You don't buy the mods. You say, sorry Chesco, love your mods. Really do, mate. Love your mods. Thanks for everything you've done. But I can't be part of this. I can't be buying your mod. That's what you say. That's what you say. You don't turn around and accuse him of vitriolic, horrible crap. And if there's someone out there who's now going, how dare you say that, I'm unsubscribing, I'm okay with that. I really am. I was going through these comments. I was going to show you some of them, but obviously we can't anymore. These comments were horrible. They really were quite horrible. And it's yet another example of the problem with the Steam Workshop. The fact that it really does seem to be completely unmoderated. It makes me appreciate the Nexus so much. It really does. So as you can tell, I'm angry about this. And I'm angry about this because this is personal to me. I'm a mod maker. You guys know this. I'm a mod maker. I am not going to be selling my mods. No real interest in it. Don't think I've got the time to make a career out of it. But I tell you what, if I was still working as a programmer and wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I might have thought about it as well. Someone comes along and says, hey, do you want to make mods for a living? Are you kidding? Rather than making the programs I was making, I'd have been like, yes, please. I mean, but what is wrong with a person who loves games jumping at a chance to make a living making something for games that he loves? It boggles my mind that anyone can find that reprehensible. I mean, sure, you could say, well, I think it was ill-advised, or, you know what, I just generally don't think it's a good idea. But to think this person was somehow evil for wanting to make a living making mods that people love, it's literally craziness. It's absolute craziness. It really is. So, in summary, is this the way I wanted to see this go down? Hell no. Do I think the mod authors who agreed to do this were probably a little foolish? A tiny bit. Maybe. But I also understand them. I do. I literally understand them. Because if Bethesda contacted me now and said, we want you to do something, make a mod, I'd be, okay. I couldn't help it. I mean, I try to keep my head in gear. I try to keep rational about it. If they came along and said, we want you to make a paid mod for Fallout 4, I'd be like, okay. You know, I mean, come on. Mod makers are no different to you guys. We still fanboy. And, even these guys who just made swords don't deserve the crap they were getting. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they've got loads of other mods going. I don't know, maybe they've got loads of other mods going. Maybe they're very prolific mod makers. I don't know, they probably are. They've got a few mods. No, but they seem to be all paid mods. Or maybe they're just people they contacted and they said to them, oh, you know what, you make great models. Can you make them for our game and put them on Steam? And they went, yeah, sure. And they upload them, and the next thing they're getting bloody death threats. They're going to be thinking, what, these Skyrim people are loonies. They're nuts. I've been making the hats for years on TF2. Nobody bats an eyelid. I make a sword in Skyrim, and suddenly I've sold my soul to the devil. It's ludicrous, the response they've got. I'm sorry, it's absolutely insane. So like I said, I don't like the system. I do not like the system. This is one of those cases of, don't hate the player, hate the game. I know it's trite, but it's true. It really is. People have just gone so overboard with this, like it's ridiculous. At least with regards the mod authors. I mean, you've got people like Chesco now literally talking about leaving modding completely. He's totally and utterly shattered and demoralized by this. I mean, to some degree, I'm beginning to get used to the sheer waves of silliness that come at me, but these mod authors are not. They are not, and to be honest, I don't think I'd be ready for the level of hatred that was thrown at them. You should have seen the comment sections. Well, not get on with it. This is what I'm getting on with. I'm getting this out of the way because you know it's going to be asked constantly throughout this stream. I'm getting this out of the way first. So, if you are somebody who has thrown hatred at these mod authors and you are now feeling a little guilty, well, good, because that shows you are at least a decent human being enough to recognise perhaps you overreacted and perhaps treated these people badly. If you're a person who threw venom and vitriol and, said the world would be better off without them and all that other crap, and you don't feel bad about it, there's something wrong with you. However, so when is the part of the speech when Gopher might possibly lose some followers? Well, I thought that. I've literally just ranted at a lot of people who've probably posted vitriol. I mean, I've had people sending me messages saying, yeah, you should help us form a petition to have all of these mod authors banned. Are you kidding me? Yes, and we shall ban you for making things for us. That'll show you. The vitriol and hatred that has been thrown at Valve might stop them, actually. Because literally the sheer level of it is astounding. It's staggering. If Valve and Bethesda have got half an ounce of sense in their heads, they'll look at this and go, these people are nuts. My worry is Bethesda are going to look at this and go, seriously, the modding community is bonkers. They're out there. You know what? Fallout 4? Sod it, we're not releasing a modding tool. These guys are bonkers. Really? They're out there. They're loonies. Because, we've not exactly put our best shoes on, combed our hair, and given a good impression, have we? Dear Bethesda, please continue to make modding tools for us, to make mods. It's in your best interests. Because it'll keep fans like us around, and you want to keep us around. Dear, oh dear. So there you go. Anyway, On the actual subject of... This is the second part of this. The subject of this. Everyone's got, oh my god, it's the doom, it's the death of modding. And it's like, oh, come on. Was it 3 years ago when the Skyrim workshop came out? Or something like that. Was it about 3 years ago? And everyone was talking about, oh, it's the death of Nexus. This will kill Nexus off. And it didn't. If anything, Nexus got more traffic. People came in, tried mods on the workshop, and thought, this is kind of cool, but my god, the workshop sucks. I wonder if there's something better. And all went to Nexus. It reminds me of the thing a few years ago, the Content ID thing. Everyone was talking about, this is the death of gaming on YouTube. As of January, there will be no more gaming on YouTube. Guaranteed. Anyone who thinks otherwise is a fool. Come January, nothing happened. It's amazing. Everyone, people always say stuff like this, don't they? You don't see it. You haven't understood what's happening. This is the death of PC gaming. And, you know, 2 months later when nothing happened. The same people are back a year later saying the same thing because of something else. So, is this the death of modding? No, it bloody well is not. Yes, there's a bunch of mods that have been uploaded for paid. And here's the thing, I hate saying bad things about mods and mod makers. You know this. I can't stand saying bad things about them. But apart from the joke ones, well, including the joke ones, I'm sorry, none of these are things I would buy. None of them are things I would buy. I wouldn't spend money on them. It's as simple as that. There are alternatives, free alternatives, and I guarantee there's always going to be free alternatives. People keep talking about, well, all the mods will go pay for. No, they bloody well won't. There'll be free mods on Nexus. There'll be people looking at the mods that go up here. I guarantee, right? I literally guarantee somebody will, you know, let's just say that's a joke. Whiterun 10. I mean, there's absolutely nothing here that anyone's going to want. Which really isn't. Not for money. I'm sorry. I know some people are going to buy them just for giggles. I kind of know that. But let's go along to these swords. Oh, I like that sword. That's nice. I wonder if I can find a free sword that looks something like it. Because I guarantee some modder's going to take a look at this and think, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to make something very similar, put it on Nexus for free. You know, there's a magic overhaul. Somebody will make a free one. Someone will. Someone would do it just to spite them. Or to get the name on the map. Or because they know if they make something that's good, it'll get thousands of endorsements. And because it's free, it'll become the go-to magic mod. So instead of Midas Magic, whatever. I mean, there's a Fendrix Magic mod. That actually may even be more popular. I don't know. But they're going to be competing with free mods. Okay? And they're going to lose to free mods. The only time a mod is going to win here over a free version is when the mod is so damned complicated. I mean, Wet and Cold. Wet and Cold is the sort of thing I can imagine. Yeah, this is the sort of mod I actually can imagine might end up staying here. I don't think people will pay much more than that. But I can imagine it. Wet and Cold is one of those mods that really is pretty damned good. It's pretty damn good. I could end up seeing loads of mods like this making absolutely no bloody money, and there still being thousands of bloody mods for free on Nexus that people will use. Same with armors, you know, and people will look at this and think, all right, I could make something similar to this, maybe different. I'll use different models, but I like the idea, and then they'll use it. And what are these people going to do? Intellectual property? As long as the people have not used the resources from this set, as long as they've not made an absolute carbon copy, what's this mod author going to do? And that's what people are just going to make similar things. They're going to go, all right, so it's set with bones and a skull looking thing. Okay, I'm going to do something similar. It'll be a different design skull, maybe different bones and different hood, but I'll do it. And then I'll put it for free and it'll be dead popular. I think what's going to happen here is the market will speak. I think people might be willing to buy some mods. Some people are going to buy mods just for the sake of having bought them, right? There's always going to be someone. There's always going to be someone who buys some mod. Even some of these bloody joke mods. That are joke mods. I could upload a mod right now with a background that said, I am a sucker who has more money than sense, and charge $99 for it. And there would be someone who buys it. There would literally be someone that buys it, guaranteed. I could sell it for $100. You know, a background. I have more money than sense. Someone would do it just to say they were the person who bought it, right? So that's always going to happen. But on the whole, there are just not going to be a lot of people willing to pay huge amounts of money for these things. I'm sorry, but you know. And so people are going, I won't pay for mods like this, and then make drama about it for half an hour. You were finished. You didn't even need to shout it. You could just say, I'm not paying for mods like this. Full stop. That's where it ends. Someone here take my money. Yeah, I'm not even talking about if I did it. Some random person did it. They'd get it. Shut up. You guys are terrible. So yeah. Do I think the mods here are worth the money that's being asked? I got to be honest, I don't like saying this, but no, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't think these mods, and even some of the mods that I absolutely love. I love Wet and Cold. I'm just... $5. I mean, I'm one of these people who thinks Hearthfire was daylight robbery. I only bought Hearthfire because so many mods rely on you having it. I think it was daylight robbery. I really do. If it weren't for the fact that so many bloody mods rely on having Hearthfire, I wouldn't have bought Hearthfire. I think it was robbery. I think Bethesda, you know, fleeced us right there. So Wet and Cold for no. I'll pay $1 for it. I'll pay $1 for it because it is good. It does add a lot of atmosphere. I'd pay $1 for that. I'd pay $1 for Footprints, maybe. For Frostfall, would I pay $3 or $4? I might pay $3 or $4. I'd like a package. Give me Frostfall, the new camping, Footprints, Wet and Cold, Cloaks of Skyrim money for $5. There you go. There's a bargain. $5. Give me that, the entire package. You know, maybe throw in a winter overhaul. Sold to the man at the back, right? Something like that. Okay. That's what's going to happen. I'm not going to buy these. How much for Skyrim? Honestly, I don't know, because I'm not going to play Skyrim. If I ever play again, I'd use a different module. But again, yeah, Skyrim, maybe $5. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know. Sky UI I'd pay for fairly obvious reasons. I'd pay for SKSE, but my gut feeling there is that is never going to go on sale. And so there you go. So what I'm saying is, it's a question of value. That, to me, is the only thing here. I'm not offended that mod authors would sell mods. I'm not offended that Bethesda and Valve think to themselves, you know what, maybe we can make money on mods. They're a business. Bethesda have provided an engine and a tool for us to make mods, right? And we can still make them for free. Nothing's stopping us making them for free. But if somebody wants to try and make money on them, and then Bethesda can make money on them, I got nothing against that. I just don't think anyone's going to buy them unless the mods are worth it. So it's going to be mods like Falscar. I mean, sure, some of these mods probably have already got some sales. But, you know, mods like Falscar, I mean, if Falscar went up and charged $5, that to me would be a no-brainer. No problem. Buy that. And I think thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people would be willing to buy Falscar, especially if it downloaded straight from the workshop. I really do. And they could make quite a bit of money. They could, you know, I mean, it took him a year of his life to make. Could he make a yearly wage? I'm not sure he could make that much. Well, actually, once Steam and Bethesda take their split, definitely not. But, you know, still, a little bit of money there. I've got no objection to that. It's a question of value to me. I mean, the reason the horse armor failed for Oblivion was value. You know, horse armor was a bad idea. It wasn't worth the money they were asking. Shivering Isles was. Shivering Isles was an expansion. It was well worth the, was it $20 or $30 it sold for originally? I mean, Shivering Isles was brilliant. It was worth the money. To me, that's all this is. It's a question of value. They've just put a lot of stuff up that I just hold to be not worth the price. And I think that's what's going to change this. Although apparently I might be wrong. It might actually be... Oh, no, this is back now. This is back now. No, there you go. It is, the back. Or is that one of the ones that's waiting? No, that's one that's ready. So, I don't think this is the death of modding. I think it's going to have very little effect on modding. I really do. The thing is, what about the people who contributed to Falscar? Not my problem. No, I'm sorry, but I do appreciate there are problems with this model. And I think Steam have underestimated how many problems there will be. I mean, you know, if something like SKSE or Sky UI goes up on the board for money, who gets the money? The guy who uploaded it or the whole team? Well, that's not my problem, and it's not your problem. If the lead developer on something that was a team uploads it, it's his responsibility to make sure shares of the funds go to all the people involved. And it's up to the people involved to find out whether this person's going to sell the mod, and if so, what their cut will be, and blah, 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 blah. Dead simple. I mean, maybe people will say, okay, I will do voice acting for you as long as you agree not to sell the mod. If you sell the mod, I will require remuneration of some kind. And there will be a contract agreement. I know. Again, not my problem, not your problem. I understand it could be a problem, but not for us. These are the sort of problems that individuals will have to sort out. The same way as this whole problem to me seems to be one that the market will sort out. What will people pay for versus what will people not pay for? People are worried about all sorts of hypothetical scenarios that will never affect them. But the kind of issue is what will crush the modding community. No, I don't think so. I really don't. I really don't think it will crush the community at all. I think people in the modding community will still get together and make mods. I still think people will... Some people want to do the mods by themselves. Some people want to be part of a team. Some people want to make mods because it's good on their resume. Some people want to make mods because they just like making mods. Some people want to make mods because they enjoy the attention. There's a billion reasons for making mods. Some people are going to make them for money. And those people, yes, they will have to deal with the whole extra set of baggage that comes with it. It's not going to crush our community. People just... It's amazing to me that people think our community literally is going to crumble because absolutely every single mod author is just going to immediately rush over to Steam. Let's see if that's happened, shall we? Let's see if that's happened. Slow, isn't it? Latest files. More recent latest files. Okay, that was uploaded an hour ago, half an hour ago, double jump, oh, good grief, double jump, an hour and 15 minutes ago, 2.5 hours ago, oh look, Gabe's Unrelented Curated Fork, big old fat combo pack of crappiness, brilliant, Galley's Water Axe. Okay, interesting. Kill Lord Gaben. Falcata sword. Oh, look. Oh, my God. What's this? A sword mod for free. No, it cannot be. No, this is not possible. How dare you? How dare you make a liar of absolutely everybody who said this is the death of free modding? Breasts. What the hell? Never mind. Player home. My God, the number of mods that have come out. Exploitation. Yeah, okay. Some of them are humorous. There's just loads of them. This is the very next day. very next day. I mean, now is the time to put your mod up. Now is the time to put your bloody mod up, right? I guarantee the next couple of weeks, strike while the iron is hot. So while people are still playing with the function of it, put your sword up. He's not. He's put it here. Why? Has he not heard? Has he not known about this change? Nexus getting a cut from workshop sales. Oh, I'm sure Nexus will get their cut as well. Absolutely sure they will. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because here's the thing. Look at this. I don't care if Nexus get their cut of the sales. Download. Download. Let's look at the file section. Oh, look, a file for me to download. Download manually. Will it let me? Will it let me? Apparently it will. Oh my god. And I didn't have to pay anything. What do I care if even if this person uploads this to the workshop and allows people to buy it from there, even though it's hosted here. Look, it's here. It's just... Yeah, oh, I don't care what happens to the workshop. See, oh, will this kill the workshop? God, I hope it does. I don't like the workshop, guys. I think it's a bad modding tool. I think it was designed by people who don't understand modding, at least the modding of Bethesda games. But people are sort of... When people say it's the death of modding, do they just mean it's the death of modding on Steam? If so, why all the panic? I hate to tell you this, but... Nexus is still where it's at. Wonders of weather. I mean, Isoku has released a new bloody... This is the guy that's getting hate for uploading a couple of new versions of his old mods. And yet here he has Wonders of Weather, which is a combined mod of all of his... I think it's literally a combination of all of his mods, plus some other things. I mean, even the people that are trying to make money on some mods are still uploading mods for us to use. Oh, God, really? What? I just think people like to drama. This is my take on it now. People just like to drama. People like to drama. It's just... What do I think of Dark One's post from 4 hours ago? Well, let's read it. Let's read it. Was it? Well, that's it. We're done. We're over. Oh, God. Before I get to the minor updates we made to the site in light of the major news yesterday, I will quickly address the matter of our forums being slow or down. Obviously, this news has been a huge deal and probably exploded far more than Valve and Bethesda realised it would because they're not paying attention. Some of the spotlight has been shined on the Nexus as a result of that. Some people have expressed concern that we'll go the same way. They obviously don't read the site news, or that it'll affect us negatively somehow. Everything you see here is completely free and is definitely staying that way. About 40 mods have been hidden in the Skyrim Nexus section since this announcement, most of which are people afraid that their mods are going to be stolen and uploaded to Steam for profit. Our forums have also been struggling to keep up with the increase in traffic that's coming from the spotlight being placed on us, and so they've either been crawling along at snail's pace or... I mean, look at this. He's talking about how slow the bloody servers are because of this issue. Does this sound like a man who's panicking that his job's ended? He's apologising for having slow servers because too many people are causing bloody drama. The forums are the only element of the site infrastructure that we didn't update in our big 16 month, probably because you didn't expect this level of utter petulance, right? 250,000 infrastructure update, we did blah blah blah. We wanted to keep the forums running on a separate system, blah blah blah. No one cares, no one cares. I'm saying that, of course people care, I don't. We wanted a bit of a rest from ours. Now the changes have been made today. Okay, so they've made some changes. Donations. The donation system on the Nexus has been brought up and talked about a lot over the past few months. In our private mod author forums, mod authors with 1,000 or more unique downloads gain access. Way before this announcement by Valve and Bethesda, I really should check that out. It was agreed that the donation system needs to be made more prominent because a lot of users weren't still aware that the system even existed. Yes, I want you to go along to Immersive HUD and I want the entire screen to pop up with dancing girls with happy days are here again as long as you donate to Gopher. Okay, we're going to look into loosening up our donation rules slightly, and one of the main issues to this day with mod pages is how awful some of the file page descriptions are. Some mod descriptions are buried underneath changelogs, latest news, facts, blah blah. The man's talking about restructuring the website to make it easier to read. Yeah, well, right, the death of modding. Well, then apparently Dark One's in denial. Okay. Image system more. My mouse has run out of battery. It has gone into a coma because of this situation. We made a quick preliminary update on the sites that allow more authors to show a donation information. Yada, 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 yada. This is just, they're trying to make it easier to get donations. Permissions changed regarding paid mods. The modding community, this is probably going to be important. The modding community, especially with Bethesda games, is built on mods that use assets from other mods. Many mods are standalone and use completely unique or vanilla assets, but many also use assets from other mods. On top of that, many modders release their mods as modder resources, essentially saying to people, take whatever you want from my mod and use it in yours. The introduction of paid-for mods change that. Some mod authors have already taken their mods down because they're afraid their assets, or even their entire mods, will be stolen and added to the new Steam workshop without their permission. Many mod have said they are now unsure if they'll ever release another modder's resource again. I think that's, again, too big a part of the panic. We obviously do not want that to happen, and the fact that it has happened already leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Don't worry, people will just chill out. The taste of one side of what money is bringing to modding. We've even had our first mod taken down from the paywall section of Skyrim related to this issue. Yeah, that was a Chesco one, and it was due to the fact that he has an animation in it that requires finesse or something, I believe. So that's a bit unfortunate, I think. That's a bit unfortunate. And it wouldn't have been a problem on a free mod. But the author of Finesse doesn't want that sort of thing going into pay for mods. And that's perfectly within his right. He's perfectly within his right to do that. So, yeah. Okay. While I'm talking about this fear of mods or assets being stolen, I feel I need to point out a massive glaring issue with this new workshop implementation, because right now people are focusing on, oh my god, you mean I might have to pay for some mods? Yeah, I know, my dude. Well, I think it's even more horrific thing is, oh my god, you mean I will have to pay to check and make sure if someone has stolen my work? Let me explain. The new implementation is set so that there's a 7-day grace period after an author uploads a file with a price tag. During these 7 days, users can view the file page, look at the pictures, read the description, but they cannot download the file. The idea of this grace period is to get the community to police new uploads before they're added, to make sure that nothing bad is added to the paid section of the site. Seems like a good idea, except if a mod author is using stolen assets from other people's mods. Unless the thief is pants on head stupid, they're not going to talk about stealing assets from other mods or put up pictures that would suggest assets have been stolen. The only way the authors of the assets that have been stolen will know if it has happened is if someone buys the mod and tells the author, at which point the author is either going to have to engage in the new world of mod piracy, which began yesterday in earnest, or they're going to have to buy the mod for themselves. So you want to say, but Dark One, the author can buy the mod, investigate, then ask for a refund. As there's a refund system. Yes, there is a refund system that refunds you in Steam wallet money that you can never take out of Steam. So once you've bought the mod, that mod will always be Valve's from that point on. Refund or not, that, I'm sorry to say, is batshit freaking crazy. I don't actually think that's true. I think you can actually get the money back. However, there is a problem that if you do it too many times, they will rescind the ability to do that. However, users cannot use my assets in any mods files that have been sold for money, blah, blah, blah. You can either tick it or untick it, and that information will be displayed under the permissions and credits link as per usual. I should probably check my mods just to make sure that I've got, you cannot use them if you're doing paid mods. All right. Nothing in that seems particularly bad. He's reacting to the pay situation. A few changes are needed. And we need to wait for the forums to settle down because people be crying. Add item menu. Give me money for no reason. Okay. So there you go. The other thing that people are having issues with on this is the cut. 25% to the mod author. Is it 25% to Steam and 50% to Bethesda or something like that? It's a three-way split, and the mod author's only getting 25%. I've got absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. None. Zero. Nada. I mean, there are people who used to say you shouldn't even be allowed to make mods because you're using resources from the game, which you almost certainly are. You know, and you're building your mods on this game. So the fact that a percentage goes to Bethesda is not a big problem for me. And of course, Valve needs to take their cut. Would it be better if the cut for the mod author was 40% maybe even 50%, and Bethesda took 30% and Steam took 20%? Maybe that would taste better. I don't actually think it would get them any more sales, to be brutally honest. I don't think it would. Maybe it would. Maybe the perception of more money going to the mod author would actually change things. I'm pretty much ambivalent on that. I'm pretty ambivalent on that because I'm not planning on selling my mods. But people are focusing on all these different things, you see. So there you go. Gopher, modders are making Bethesda's games playable. Yeah, and so? So what? I mean, people keep telling me all of these reasons why modding is great. Why free modding is great. I know. I know free modding is great. I love free modding. Absolutely love it. No money should go to Bethesda unless they update the game. I disagree with that. And the reason I disagree with that isn't because I think, oh, they deserve the money. I just think if they start getting money from mods that people make, they will support the modding community even more. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful if Bethesda ended up making more money through mods than they did through the game? And so the modding tools became absolutely excellent, even better. That would be awesome. So if money going to Bethesda encourages that, I'm happy. So, no, sorry, don't agree. Don't agree. But again, we're quibbling over numbers now. We're quibbling over numbers. Valve generally handled most dicey situations. Basically, I think that what the problem has been with this is the way Valve has handled it. And they've handled it in an absolutely piss-poor manner, which is no surprise to me. None whatsoever. They handled the workshop badly. They were handling this badly. I don't think it's because they're evil and nefarious. I think it's because on this sort of issue, they're just pretty incompetent, basically. I think they're just incompetent. I think they thought this was a good idea. This model probably worked on TF2 with hats and Portal with maps, and they thought, oh, this will work with Skyrim. You know, without checking multiple sources in the Skyrim community. Or if they did check, they ignored the advice, my guess. So... honestly, I mean, call me crazy. I'm just not in panic mode yet. I'm not in panic mode. I don't think this is going to cause particularly many problems. Will some mods come out that will be paid for that would have been free otherwise? Maybe, but probably not. There'll be a handful. Will this be the case more for Fallout 4? It could be, but again... I'm just, you know what, if people make texture packs and put them on the paywall, I'm sure someone will make a texture pack and put it for free, and I'll just pick that up. Thank you very much. You know, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe people will send me free review copies of all the expensive mods and I can review them for you. But honestly, I just think there's way too much smoke for this tiny little fire. People are acting as if the entire world is you know, on fire, and I don't think it is. I think there's a small fire somewhere, and someone just put wet leaves on it, and there's just a lot of smoke. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my final say on this matter. So, in summary, I do not like this new system. No, I do not. I wish it would go away. I somehow doubt that that is going to happen. I am absolutely disgusted with the way the mod creators have been treated by the community. Not by Valve, but by the community. The community needs to grow up and stop with the vitriolic hatred. Yes, it does. And thirdly, things are probably going to be all right. There will still be free mods. There are still free mods. Nexus will still be there. We will still be here for Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 9 And yes, there will be some mods that will be paid for, and no, not all of them will be worth it, but there will still be tons of free mods. That's my verdict. That's what I think, and I think we should leave it there. Have I read the last update in the matter from Chesco? Perhaps you've misunderstood the let's leave it there plan. Dear oh dear. I'm going to take a very fast break. I'm going to go get a coffee and then I'll play XCOM. Can I do that now? Can I do that? Have I covered this? Have I absolutely... And you're now banned at the Angry Joe Show channel as well. Thanks for giving bad name to the community. I'm banned from the Angry Joe Show, am I? Well, that sucks. Why? Right, that's it. I'm just going to stop the stream very briefly. I'll be starting it again, and it will be XCOM. Let's play Witcher now. Right, no. You have permission to take 10 minutes. I'll only need 5. I'll only need 5. Oh. Angry Joe's cool. Another Joe is really cool. He was a lot of fun. So, you have to wake up at 5 AM tomorrow. I was about to say good night. See you in a few minutes, guys. I will see you in a few minutes.